Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew. I'm an account manager in actiTIME team. Welcome to our webinar, and it is pleasure to meet you here. So I hope you are able to see the screen and hear me properly. If not, then please drop a message into the QA section. Today I will tell you about our new browser extension, Time Tracking Assistant. My talk shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. And first, I will share with you some general information about the extension, and you will see how it will make your life better. Then I will show you the extension in action, and at the end, I will be happy to answer your questions. Thus, if any questions arise during my talk, then please drop them into the QA section, chat button. First of all, why did we develop this extension? I'm pretty sure that most of you were struggling to submit your work timesheet at the end of the day because you don't remember what you were doing and for how long. No worries. With our new extension, it won't happen to you again, as it tracks the time you spent on various browser-based tools, making it extremely easy to fill out your work timesheet. A good news. Mm, Mm. Good news, this is not a monitoring software notifying your manager how many times you got distracted by Facebook and so on. All the data collected is available only to you, and you decide what data will be synced with your work timesheet. So it is absolutely stress-free software. So the extension works in Google Chrome and Edge browsers. It can be synced with your existing actiTIME account, or you can use it as a standalone software for time tracking. So you don't have to create or synchronize it with your actiTIME account. And the last but not the least, it is absolutely free. Isn't it amazing? I bet it is. So now I will show you the extension in action. For this, I just need to switch the screen. One moment, please. I'm just sharing it with you. So I have just opened the extension. I hope you can see the window with the extension. Please let me know if the window is not visible to you. Just drop a message into the chat, or so-called questions and answers section. Okay, I think that the window is visible. When we open the extension for the first time, we have two options to log in. First, we can log in using our existing actiTIME account here, or we can sign up using our email address. In this case, the extension won't be synchronized with your actiTIME account. So you should use this option, sign up with email, in case you want to use the extension as a standalone software for time tracking. Well, I will go with the first option because I have my actiTIME account here. And definitely it will be better for a demo. So I will show you the data sync here. When you log in to the extension for the first time, you will see a different screen. This one, tools for auto tracking. In this screen, you can select web browser's tools for which you want to track the time. For example, Gmail, you just click on them. All tools are grouped by different categories like communication in the mail, project management, writing docs, and so on. If your tool is not in the list, then you can add it by clicking on the Add button here below, next to the category. These categories will be used in the reports later. Later, I will show you how to use them. Alternatively, you can opt for tracking time in any browser-based tools by selecting this option. If you go with this option, then you will be able to add exceptions. For example, so this means that the extension won't track the time I spend on Facebook. Pretty convenient. Now I will go to the activities interface located here. Let me just go here. Activities interface. In this interface, we can see how much time we spent on different tools. So the time is tracked automatically. Like Google Docs, Google Meet. Today I did some work there. Also here we can initiate manual time tracking by clicking on the start timer button here. An interesting thing, please pay attention. Here it asks us to enter the activity name. But since the extension, my extension is integrated with my actiTIME account, then I can select one of the existing tasks I have in actiTIME. For example, let it be bug fixing, though I'm not a developer. So the time will be tracked, and later the tracked time will be transferred to the corresponding task, bug fixing in actiTIME. Very convenient. Here we also have the reports interface, which is accessible by clicking on the reports tab. Oops, magic. Here we have four additional tabs. The first one is the summary. It gives us an overall picture about how we spend time on which tools and which categories and so on. Here we can see data visualization. The second one, tools report, shows us how much time we spent using different tools. For me, for example, it is CRM today. CRM. Almost 18 minutes I spent there. Yeah, and on the right side, we can also see data visualization. Categories reports shows us how much time we spend in different browser-based tools related to various categories, like communication and email, if you remember, project management. I have mentioned them previously. Today, I was using tools related to communication and email, Gmail and Google Meet. Activity log report shows my activity during the day. Here is pretty self-explanatory. 2 minutes I spent here, 4 minutes I spent on calls, and so on. So guys, long story short, all collected data is located here. But in case we want to transfer it to actiTIME, then we need to configure mapping rules. Don't worry, I will show you how to do it. Fortunately, to do it is much easier than it sounds. Mapping rules. So to configure mapping rules, create bridge with actiTIME, I go to the settings, sync settings. I don't have any tool yet. Let me add something. Oh, for example, Google Meet here. I will toggle it on. And here I will select one of the tasks I have in actiTIME. For example, calls. It is logical that I select calls here. And what does it mean? It means the time I spend on Google Meets will be automatically transferred to the corresponding task in actiTIME, to the calls task. Moreover, I can here I can enable automatic synchronization by clicking on the auto button, this one. It means that the time in the task's call in actiTIME will be automatically updated every 4 hours. Of course, you may ask what to do if I don't want to wait for 4 hours. In this case, you can use manual synchronization. For this purpose, I will return to the activities interface again. And here we can see two types of time. Synced time for today, 17 minutes in the green box. It means that this time is already in actiTIME. It was added to corresponding tasks. And also here we have unsynced time. It means the time which is still kept inside this extension. So in order to synchronize this time and transfer it to actiTIME, I'll just click on these two cute little arrows. Yeah, it gives me warning because mapping is not, I haven't configured mapping for all tools here. So I can go to the settings, sync settings, and configure it later. Also, I can transfer sync time for individual tools. For example, for Google Meets here. Time got already synced because I enabled auto synchronization there. So I can just click on the time next to these tasks to transfer it to actiTIME. For example, let me try this one. It should go well. The manual, yeah. So the time I spent on bug fixing got added to the corresponding task I have in actiTIME. So here you have two options: transfer time for all tools or transfer time for particular tools to the corresponding tasks you have in actiTIME. So well, I believe I have covered the main questions and the main point related to our new extension. Let me check the QA section here. One moment, please. Oh, I think I see we have some questions here already. One moment. I will just switch to the presentation screen. I'm tracking. Okay, here. I will switch to this slide. Very very positive slide. One moment, please. I'm just checking. Okay. The first question we have: is it possible? Is it possible to track time, to track a manual time and automatic time simultaneously? I'm afraid not. You can use one tracking per time. You can't do simultaneously manual tracking and automatic tracking. If you want to enable automatic time tracking, then you need to disable manual time tracking. I hope I have answered your question. Can I access entries of my employees? Well, see, you can't access these entries directly in the extension, but when your employees transfer these records to actiTIME, then you can go and see if you are a manager and have managerial permissions, of course. I saw you can connect to Google Meet, but what about Teams? A good question. It doesn't matter. You can connect it you can connect it to any browser-based tool. You can connect it to Skype if you open Skype, if you open the web version of your Skype. But if you open application, then you won't be able to track the time. Because the extension needs URL for time tracking. One moment. Another question: can I edit entries? I'm afraid not. Inside the extension, you can't edit them. But again, you can choose which entries will be transferred to your actiTIME account. And if something wrong got transferred, then you can edit the time directly inside your actiTIME account. Another question: can a tool be mapped to multiple actiTIME activities? Multiple okay, I will read it loud. Can a tool be mapped to multiple actiTIME activities projects? Multiple activities project. Yes, of course. You can go to the sync settings and add tools. Actually, let me quickly check it because I'm not completely sure. But it sounds like it should work like this. Do you mean the same tool, like you want to, for example, use Google Meet for different, I don't know, for different tasks, if I get it right? Yep. Oh, okay. No, I'm afraid not. You need to change the task. You can track the time. You can track time for some time, and then you can go to the settings, sync settings, and there you can change it. Select another task for Google Meet. Welcome. What happens if the next question? What happens if I have an actiTIME project synced, but the admin closes the project? Will I get a notification in my settings? Wow, this one pretty advanced. Closed project. See, you know what? I will check it with the developers of the extension. and get back to you later via email, because I'm not completely sure yet, and I don't want to give you some wrong information. Uh, Welcome. No, idle time. Can I set idle time between the sessions? Yes, you can. I didn't mention this, but in the settings you can set the idle time for your sessions. For example, 10 minutes and so on. So if you are inactive for, let's say, for example, for 9 minutes, and then you become active, then the tracked time is merged into one session. If I remember it right, one moment, please. Yeah, if the idle time between sessions within some tool is equal or less, for example, than 10 minutes, then these two sessions and the idle time between them will be merged into one single session, one single entry. I'm sorry if it sounds confusing. Categories. Can I add categories? Oh, you mean categories for these tools? Yes, we have in auto tracking tool screen. I'm afraid not. It is not possible to add categories, at least now. Okay. Well, I believe that I have covered all questions. I don't see any. Yeah. Thank you very much for your questions, guys. And thank you for your attention. It was a real pleasure to conduct this webinar for you. You are an amazing audience. And I'm very pleased that you asked so many questions. It means that the tool or webinar was interesting for you. Please note, this is the first version of our extension, and we will develop it relying on your feedback. Thus, please send us your feedback at support@actitime.com. And thank you in advance. After webinar, we will send you the summary of this webinar along with some additional information and steps on how to start using the extension if you are not using it yet. Once again, thank you for your attention and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.